Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Collector's Cast. I'm your host, Santa the Collector, actually Clint the Collector. This is Mike Bloski, as always, with me. How are you doing today, Mike?
All right, Clint. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and the best of all the season. And
same to you. And Merry Christmas.
We're allowed to say these days.
Yes, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone else out there watching our show.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, happy any other holiday you may or may not celebrate at this time of year.
There's a lot of happiness out there this time of year.
There's a lot of happy and a lot of giving. A lot of giving. That's Christmas is really about the giving, isn't it?
You're a little late for Diwali, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, happy Diwali. Well,
Happy Diwali.
You're right, it's over. I said that in one of our other episodes.
Check
back, watch every single one, front to back, you'll find it, I swear.
Diwali is a fun holiday. The lights, the food. I gain 20 pounds during Diwali.
You
usually.
are an aficionado of the Indian cooking for sure. I know you find it hard to put down a samosa or turn down a samosa.
Never met a samosa I didn't like.
Yes. Before we go and tell some Christmas stories, I just want to say that this time of year, as a collector and as a picker, what I've done, especially in the last, 10 or a dozen years, is I try to give people, friends, kids, my own kids, whatever, something that I've collected. Instead of just going down to the store, I really hate going down to the big box store and buying something that was churned out of a factory by the million just because everybody else is getting one. That just drives me nuts. It seems so unimaginative. What would you say, Mike?
I would say it's obviously that at this present time you're single and do not have a female companion. That's for sure with that statement. But no, same thing. And kind of a nice thing about my life now is that my children are all adults.
So are mine.
Yeah.
I have grandkids now, though.
And so that expectation of, I got to get this gift. We're so much now at just get together. As far as this big exchange of gifts, we're kind of away from it. My kids always, they say to me, Dad, well, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? I go, well, not that I have everything, but I don't really need
everything
anything.
You need. You kind of have everything you need, and you're not a guy that goes out and has to have 10 of everything.
And I always say,
unless they're boats.
Unless they're boats. I say, listen, if I think of something, I'll let you know.
And you know what? I'm kind of the same way with buying. When we were talking on a previous episode with the big man cave guy out east there, Tim Schmidt, and we asked him, what's your favorite car, guy with all his cars? He said, my next one. And I equated that to picking, too, how my holy grail item is always, I don't know what it is because I'll know when I see it. And, my Christmas shopping kind of goes the same way. Yeah. And I start doing it in the summer even, or whenever I see something and I think of one of my kids, one of my daughters or my son, and I go, wow, that is so them. Yeah. And I buy it with that thought of so, it's not like I'm going out to find presents just because. It's like I'm finding presents anyway, and then I store them up for the holiday. Yeah. And that way you get a real thoughtful gift for somebody, something that you actually went, that's them all the way.
Also at Christmas time, there are people that are just, really avid Christmas ornament collectors, like vintage Christmas ornaments. And you know what I found out? I didn't know this, but those plastic light up Santas that are about, 24 inches high, 26 inches high. Apparently those from the 70s are extremely, you can get $300 for one of those on.
Well, okay, now you go through a neighborhood and you see these houses with the robotic Santa, ho, 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 and all this, and Frosty, and everybody's inflated, and the whole yard looks like a bloody circus. And, but that's because all that stuff is readily available now. But when we were growing up, a string of Christmas lights was really expensive. They didn't mass produce it like now. It was kind of a special thing, and you only had so many decorations. And a guy who had a cutout Santa and his reindeers on his roof made out of plywood was really something back then.
Yeah, or a lit up Santa, one of those plastic ones. That was a big deal back then.
So the point is they made so little of that stuff back then that when you can find the vintage Christmas stuff now, it's very collectible. And the best time, to be honest, the best time to find that stuff is in the off season, you're going through a flea market or a sale, and somebody's got some old vintage Christmas lights or old ornaments and that, and you find those in the summer, buy them because, getting close to the season, there's a lot of vintage dealers that deal in that stuff heavily.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward. I know in my family, we're really looking forward again to the Christmas train that travels across Canada and stops in Agassiz. And we're really looking forward to getting in the car if the gas prices go below $1.50 a liter, and driving around and looking at Christmas lights again, and going to those places where the people have the great display and they're giving out hot chocolate.
Now, do you guys? Every town seems to have one of these, like a block or a cul-de-sac where everybody partakes.
Yes, where we live.
Those?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's great.
And at Harrison Hot Springs Lake, British Columbia, they have a great setup on the beach. Like, it's a great place to go for a walk, grab a hot chocolate, and they got a lot of lights there.
And if you're in Harrison Hot Springs, and you'll notice a lot of the storefronts along the waterfront there are decorated. The windows are painted up with all the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And a friend of ours named Angie Loeb does that. Angie, that Sean's towing lady friend there. Yeah, she does all that painting herself, and she's amazingly talented. So shout out to Angie Loeb for amazing work in Harrison on the Christmas painting.
Let's get out there and look at those Christmas lights.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was going to say about that? We used to have a neighborhood in Surrey, British Columbia, where I lived, and that was quite known for the Christmas displays. And this one street and cul-de-sac in particular was just so wow factor. It looked like Chevy Chase's house in the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. It was blinding pilots as they were flying over. And but you know what happened is, I remember this funny thing is, one of the people in the cul-de-sac sold their house, and the new people that came in, I don't know if they didn't celebrate Christmas or they just were humbugs or what, but they didn't join. So it looked like like somebody smiling and they got a tooth missing, just a big black space.
Wow.
You had lights, black, lights. And of course it sticks out and everybody goes, what the heck's wrong with those people? I'm just saying that if you buy a house in a neighborhood where they're into that whole thing, join in or you're going to look like a humbug.
Here's something for you, Clint.
Oh, please.
We're talking about this. I want to know, what was your favorite Christmas present ever?
I'm going to ask you the same.
I know, and I was prepared, knowing we were having a Christmas episode
I've
today.
had a few, but this is something I've talked about before. My favorite toy in the world, and we know what it is. It's the Tonka Winnebago Indian. Right there, I've got one, and I think I've got about 7 altogether. I don't have the original one that I had as a kid, but I remember getting that at Christmas, and it was just magical. And that was like my big central present. Usually you get a few little stocking stuffers and thing, and then you get one nice present, and that was it. And I never left that thing aside until we moved away and probably left it behind in a yard sale or something. I don't know what happened to it. I wish I still had it, but the Tonka Winnebago was my absolute favorite. I probably got a couple that are close to that, but I'm going with that.
That's a worthy.
Now, how about you? We're not. I don't want to spoil it. I was going to guess. Was it the Johnny 7 machine gun?
No,
Okay.
no. That was
up there.
That was up there. But my favorite Christmas present ever, which was a brand new pair of goalie skates. I had never had a brand new pair of skates up until then. So I would have been about 10.
Oh.
Of course, being a goalie, but I always still wore regular skates, and I wanted goalie skates. And I think my dad knew at this point in time,
you couldn't get away with playing in the old boats.
Yeah, I needed goalie skates, and and I remember that night, and for many nights after, I slept with those things on my feet. Believe it or not.
On your feet?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was crazy.
That's
I put them
fantastic.
on and slept with them.
I think we're gonna take a little break now that we told those couple stories, and when we come back, I think Aiden, our producer, has some sort of special Christmas game he wants to play with us. So we'll take a look at that as soon as we come back. You're watching the Collector's Cast. It's the Christmas special. Yay! See you in a minute.
See you soon.
Welcome back to the Christmas episode of the Collector's Cast. Hey, Mike, we're back.
We're back, and you're probably wondering why we have these headsets on, for those of you who can see us.
Yes. For those of you who can't see us, you don't know. You probably thought we always had headphones on, but we did not, and now we do. But the reason we have them on is because Aiden, our producer, has something teed up for us to listen to. We're going to do some sort of trivia. Is this Christmas movie trivia? Is that what I'm...
Oh, we're playing a fun little Christmas game. I'm going to play some clips from famous Christmas movies, and you're going to try and guess them without being able to see them, just by the audio alone.
Okay. Well, there's no video in here of us seeing anything except the bare room.
Are these Christmas videos or movies that I would have watched?
I would say they're all well-known movies. They were all made in the last 75 years.
And the room is not bare by any stretch. In the last 75 years, okay, good. Right. So they're at least talkies. They're talkies. There's no silent movies. That doesn't translate very well to radio.
No. Well,
Also, we just hear a fast piano going.
Hey,
this is Charlie Chaplin.
Like our fans tell us, we got great faces for radio.
They do. They do. Okay. Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, here we're starting with the first one. Here we go.
I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it.
Buddy, not now.
Elf.
Back to the...
Elf.
Yes.
As soon as he said buddy, I had it. I could tell it was Will Ferrell's voice. At first, I thought it was a woman. I'm in love with it. But it was Will Ferrell's voice high. And then I said, buddy. And then I knew it was Buddy the Elf.
Oh, I'm going to let our listeners in on a little secret. When we were off the air, because Clint is such a movie freak, Aiden had suggested that I get a 10-second advantage over trying to figure out what the movie might be. Anyways,
well, just
carry on.
If we were in skates, you would give me a 10-second head start in a race, wouldn't you?
Probably about a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we try that for the next one?
Yes, please. That was fun.
Okay, I'll let.
How about this? If I get it, I'll put up my finger and say I know it, and then I'll let you have a crack.
Okay.
Go.
All right. Ready?
I was left at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, it just started.
Well, where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office.
What's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
I got it.
Do you want to keep going, Mike?
I give.
He's about to get ready and say, Zuzu, stop that infernal piano playing or whatever. It's
tapping.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's Jimmy Stewart.
That is.
And that's his daughter playing the piano in the background, practicing it.
Very, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe instead of the last one, we should just do like a piece of hockey trivia. So Mike has a fighting
No,
chance.
I'm going to give him the head start again. I'm going to just say I know it when I know it.
Just tee it up.
All right, here we go.
Vincenz, I need your help with something.
I'm busy right now. Why don't you just go ask some of your boys in homicide?
I can't.
You're
I
looking
need someone
skeptical.
outside
It is a
homicide.
Christmas movie.
I want you to tail Bud White till he goes on duty this evening.
Why don't you do me a real favor and leave me alone?
Do you make...
All right, let's break it down. Can you make out who's talking?
No, I kind of thought I heard a little James Caan there for a second, but no. Okay. Can we hear it again?
All right.
And this time, you talked in the middle, so this time I want to hear the whole thing. I'm really...
No affecting your abilities, I understand.
Whoever gets this one is winner take all.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to get it. Go ahead.
Vincenz, I need your help with something.
I'm busy right now. Why don't you just go ask some of your boys in homicide?
I can't. I need someone outside of homicide.
Home Alone.
I want you to tail Bud White till he goes on
No.
duty this evening.
Why don't you do me a real favor and leave me alone?
I heard Andy Garcia that time, but it's not a... Why do I keep going to gangster movies?
I'll give you a little hint.
Yeah.
It is a movie that takes place at Christmas, but I wouldn't call it a Christmas
Die
movie.
Hard.
No.
Uh,
You probably saw it in the theater. It came out the year before I was born.
geez, when the heck was he born again? 94?
Eight.
8?
So this came
7?
out 7.
97.
And one of the characters in the scene is Kevin Spacey.
Okay, Clint, we got to get this because now it's you and I against him.
Well, he looked it up on the internet. I don't think there's much against there.
I knew we should have went to the internet building.
For those who don't know that story, Mike used to think the internet was all in one building somewhere. He denies it now, but I'm going to have to, hang on, it takes place at Christmas. It's not Die Hard.
It's not Home Alone.
It has Kevin Spacey and Nick Nolte in it.
You know, I feel like we're just,
It's Guy Pearce. Sorry, it's not Nick Nolte.
Okay, well, there you go. I'm all over the place. You know what? I think there's probably some listeners right now twisting and screaming, "God, for God's sake!" And they're yelling it at their computers. But what is it? Just fill us in.
Okay, it's directed by Curtis Hanson. It's also got Russell Crowe in it. Danny DeVito is briefly in it.
Russell Crowe.
The bad guy is played by James Cromwell. It takes place in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right. Like an L.A. story. Or I know this.
Not Live and Die in L.A.
No. That's 80s.
Come on, Mike, you got this.
There's a hard-boiled detective story that takes place. Does it take place in like the 40s?
Yes.
I know this movie.
Mulholland Drive. No.
Oh, that's close.
Something Falls.
No.
The Black Dahlia.
Oh, no, that's very, very, very close. It starts with the name of the city.
Confidential. No.
L.A.
Yeah, that was it.
It was L.A. Confidential?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen the movie. So that's why, but I do know of it, and that's why I'm like hard-boiled detectives, 40s. See, I was getting into something there, but you beat us on that one.
Like I thought you were going to ask questions like something that have a reindeer in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I figured Clint would stomp on the first two, so I had to come up with something creative.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do one for you. What is this from? I don't want to make toys. I want to be a dentist. What?
Would that be
Elf?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Very good. Remember Herbie the elf? He didn't want to make toys. He wanted to be a dentist. I don't want to make toys. I want to be a dentist. And the boss elf with the goatee. What?
What's your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
Ooh, probably A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. That's always a classic. My kids got to watch it every year. And I put them onto it because it was something I watched as a teenager.
Yeah, some of the Christmas movies that I watched as a kid, Rudolph. I mean, it's one Rudolph.
Well, the stop motion animation.
It was scary.
Where he's got the little red nose.
Yeah,
in it?
yeah. Anyway,
You're scared by the stop motion guys?
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird dark setting up there at the North Pole, wasn't it?
But my favorite. Do you want to know my favorite? Well, you should ask then.
What is your favorite?
I like the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, it's just like, to me, it sort of it blows everything else out of the water.
Pretty darn good.
Of Christmas movies.
My favorite point in that movie is when he's the holiday cheermeister or whatever, and they're carrying him around in the chair of cheer, and they're feeding him all those different kinds of puddings. And the one guy stuffs the spoon as well. This isn't pudding, and the way he goes, "What is it?" That's my favorite part of the Grinch.
And I do still like Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, who can forget the Charlie Brown Christmas tree? Anybody who's ever brought home a tree with some branches missing, like say they got down to the lot late and there wasn't much choice left, we all call it a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Yeah. It's entered the vernacular. It is part of culture.
Yes.
Now, and actually, when you start thinking about it, there's so many great ones. I could reminisce for quite a while. Like we played a clip from It's a Wonderful Life. That's just a beautiful movie. I don't know. Have you watched it many times?
Yes.
And here's a little bit of trivia you might not have known about It's a Wonderful Life. They made that movie. It was not a very big hit. And it wasn't until the early 70s when TV networks were looking, or TV stations were looking for content. And they started playing it as the afternoon movie around Christmas. And that's when it really took hold and became the big monster that it is today. It didn't find, because it came out in around 1940 or so.
Well, wasn't the original Lethal Weapon movie was a Christmas movie as well?
Was it?
Well, very feel good. Yeah. Remember, wasn't Mel Gibson like...
We were just talking about today that Lethal Weapon 2 is Joe Pesci.
Yeah, but isn't the first one, isn't the opening scene, aren't they in or one of the opening scenes, isn't he in a Christmas tree place selling Christmas trees?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
It's been so long I can't remember.
Yeah.
Also Christmas time, also Los Angeles.
Yes.
Well, there you go, tying that together nicely.
Because they have no snow, they think they have to overcompensate with more movies.
No, so what did you say your favorite Christmas movie was?
Grinch.
Oh, the Grinch.
Jim
Yeah, sorry.
Carrey Grinch.
Never mind. You did
Yeah.
address that.
I did it.
And yeah, I got to say A Christmas Story, but It's a Wonderful Life is right up there. Because, when spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it yet, when he kind of gets to see his whole life, how it would have been without him. And then he's just, at the moment he realizes he's back, when he can taste the blood on his lip, and Zuzu's petals are in his pocket. Zuzu's flower petals. Zuzu's petals! And he knows he's back. It's just a triumphant moment. And you can't be much happier for a movie character or actor than you can for Jimmy Stewart. He was just such a lovable guy. I just actually saw I'm getting the sign to probably wrap this up soon, I'm thinking, but I just love that I saw a thing the other day that it was a real photograph of Jimmy Stewart coming home from the military. He was a pilot. He was an Army pilot or an Air Force pilot, and he's in his dad's hardware store.
Wow.
And it was one of those cool old 40s hardware stores, and he's sitting up on the counter talking to somebody on the phone in his full uniform. And his dad's in the background with the apron on, helping customers. It's just one of those, those great old hardware stores that you just don't see anymore. And I just thought it was such a neat picture. I was transported in time.
A lot of collectibles in there.
Oh, that's what I said at the time. I want to time travel back to that hardware store and buy a few things.
Okay, one more Christmas question.
Okay.
Real tree or fake tree?
Boy, that's a conundrum, isn't it? Because I love the smell of a tree. I'd always say real, 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 but now we're kind of in this age of enlightenment where do we want to kill a tree just so we can...
But there's still thousands and thousands of Christmas trees there. Like, people are growing them specifically for cutting them down and selling them as trees.
Now, what if trees grew humans to just cut one's feet off and put it, those babies, humans got lots of babies. In fact, we grow these babies specifically just for planting in a pot at Christmas. We cut their feet off.
Thanks, Aiden.
And by the sound of the music, I'd say it's time to go. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. Don't forget to ring the
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas!
See you in the new year.
See you in the new year. It's been the Collector's Cast.